it is very important to spread the word. But with anything you do in life, if you're not having fun doing it, it doesn't seem worthwhile. And I can't. I can't do it. And so now I'm torn. All right? I mean, I feel like, in a sense, I am cheating the artist. Because they could possibly get more exposure if I would change some things. And, you know, growth is very important, especially when you're trying to do what we're trying to do here. The growth is a very, very major aspect of the whole deal. And I don't know. It just is. Because I mean, really, we're kind of just spinning our wheels here and beating a dead horse if we can't grow the station and expose all that great talent to more and more and more people. I feel like we're failing if we're not able to do that. And I really, truly do believe that if again, the lack of growth is due to my stubbornness. I realize that I'm not for everybody, and I've known that from the start. I've always known that. And I was willing to possibly, maybe lose a couple of listeners over that. But the data shows it's hurting a little worse than what I expected it to. I honestly expect. I mean, obviously, there's going to be plenty out there that are like, no way. And I expected that, but I didn't expect it to be this bad. Oh, man. All right. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have yet to even look at the chat. I can see out of the corner of my eye it's scrolling like wildfire, but I have yet to even look at it. Rick, don't give in to it, man. Your show is much different than others, and that's why I love it. And you know what? That's the type of I do appreciate that. I really honestly do. I cannot tell you, now that you guys know the backstory of how I even got into this in the first place, those types of comments still to this day amaze me. They just blow my mind. When getting into this indie deal, I was passionate about it to begin with, once I figured out what was going on. But over the last couple of years, the more I've talked with various artists, whether it be via interview or in private, chatting back and forth, I've become more passionate because it almost felt like I was, I could understand. I felt like I could totally understand what they're going through. Because those of us, as I mentioned earlier, anybody can do a damn podcast. And those of us that are doing it now, because everybody and their brothers are doing it, we're essentially the indie artist of podcasting. We're kind of in the same boat that the indie artists are in. And that all started clicking. The artists, of course, they hope to maybe be discovered or what have you. But one thing I found about indie artists is no matter what, man, they take that stage because of the passion and the thrill. And I can understand that thrill. Because there is nothing more thrilling than standing on that stage and looking out into an audience, and I don't care if it's 5 people, 50 people, or 500 people, there is nothing more thrilling to see that what you are doing is entertaining them. For the indie artists, for them to look out off that stage and see people either dancing or singing along or bobbing their heads, whatever the case may be, that is a rush. For me as a podcaster, an indie podcaster, to see some of the comments in the chat, some of the comments I receive from messages, it's like a drug. The thrill of being able to entertain people like that is addictive. And yes, we all hope it can amount to something bigger and better. And even if it doesn't, though, we just keep trucking along. And I don't think it's time to end this because we're not getting bigger and better. Well, at least not for the... I think it's time to end it because we're not getting bigger or better, but simply because I'm holding that up. Not because necessarily it can't eventually happen one day. Not because I've lost my passion for it. I love doing this. I love everything about it. It's my outlet. But I really, truly believe because of my refusal to change, I'm doing like this huge injustice to the artist. I'm just, I'm not giving them everything that could be. And that's a hard thing to struggle with. This has nothing to do with money or fame. I've been doing this for 7 years. I've been doing the indie artist thing for 2 years. And have never once made one dime. Not one. It cost me money to do this. I have to pay to do this. I pay a monthly fee to do this. Has nothing to do with the money. Has nothing to do with getting famous. This is something I love to do. And the indie artist and the music part of it just kind of lit an extra fire underneath it. And I just feel like every listener that turns away because of my style of broadcasting is another time I have possibly cheated the indie artist out of exposure. Let me take a quick breather.
You say you need me, say you cannot be without me, forever willing. Without me, you feel empty. Hey, I feel so alive when I'm with you. Hey, I feel so alive. You said it's over. You said, baby, come such a love destructor. Hey, I feel so alive when I'm with you. Hey, I feel so alive, so alive. No, every time you go, every time you go, feels like I'm burning alive. 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 Feels like I'm burning
All right, I took that time to scroll back through. I honestly, I just have not looked at the chat since I started here, and I took that time to kind of scroll back through and read some comments, and I'll address some things here. And again, once again, again, it just blows my mind, and I thank you so much. And as I explained earlier, you happen to be the sect that likes what you hear, so it's easy for you to say these things. But I do truly appreciate it more than you'll ever know. Alan Wayne, fuck you. Yeah, that's much better. How's it going, man? Alan Wayne, he knows me very well. That's another long story, which kind of ties into this, though. But, I'm reading through these comments, and everybody's ready to jump up and help and all these suggestions, and I appreciate it, and I really do. And but again, my data, all right, and I'm just going by my data and my research and what I pay attention to, and I'm telling you, yes, you're absolutely right. We need to promote more. Absolutely, it would help if I would myself was a lot better with taking advantage of the tools that are provided by social media. Guaranteed, absolutely, that would help. But here's the deal. I've taken into consideration what is being done with the social media, not just with us, but also with the artists when it pertains to us. And the numbers still don't add up. They still don't add up. The numbers still lead me back to it's my fault. And, I'm not saying this. I don't need a pity party. I don't need anybody to feel sorry for me. Any of that. This is not what this is about. I'm just, if it didn't keep leading back to that, if it didn't keep leading back to that, I wouldn't even bring it up. But that's exactly what it keeps leading back to. Let's see, there's some other stuff here I wanted to. Where was that at, Jose? Somebody. Right there. Yeah, right there. Stop. Kedia, I hope I pronounced that right. She says, your show is so much different than others, and that's why I love it. And that is what I shoot for. That I love to see that, because that is exactly, my thinking. But again, you've got to look at the big picture. If it wasn't for the fact of that it's what we're trying to do here, that would be great. That'd be fine and dandy the way I do things. But it keeps leading back because of the way I do things. I'm cheating these damn artists. Now, somebody else mentioned, somebody said something to the fact, I don't see it now, but anyways, it was to the effect of, if I don't do this, the artist's music won't be heard.